The following program is made possible with the support of Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza. With 5 locations in the Wilmington area, Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients. Always had them, always will. Wilmington International Airport. Committed to a relaxed, enjoyable flying experience. Now offering daily nonstop flights to Charlotte, New York, and Philadelphia with American Airlines, and Atlanta with Delta. Details at flyilm.com. Ruby Tuesday at Monkey Junction, featuring uncompromising freshness and quality and gracious hospitality. Ruby Tuesday at Monkey Junction, the perfect place for your next casual dining experience. And PortCityDaily.com. You can do without the paper, but you can't do without the news. PortCityDaily.com is your online local news source for Wilmington and the surrounding Cape Fear region.
Hey, high school sports fans, welcome to a new edition of Sports Roundtable, our weekly look at high school football, basketball across New Hanover County. I'm Joe Katz from PortCityDaily.com. Unfortunately, the 2015 high school football season came to a close this past Friday night at Legion Stadium in the 4A regional final between the New Hanover Wildcats and the J.H. Rose Rampants. The Rampants came to the Port City and picked up a 28-14 victory over New Hanover. It was the first time Legion Stadium hosted a 4A East regional matchup since 1991. Trot Nixon was the quarterback. Joe Miller was the coach on the sidelines for New Hanover in that game back in '91. And the Wildcats came out ferocious against the J.H. Rose team that has put up big numbers throughout the course of the 4A playoffs. Unfortunately, a key injury at the quarterback position kind of hampered the New Hanover offense in that second half. Burke Estes left the game at halftime with a sprained throwing hand, and then it was just too much offense for J.H. Rose coming up with a 28-14 win over New Hanover. The Rampants will play Charlotte Catholic in the 4A state championship this weekend at BB&T Field on the campus of Wake Forest University. For the Wildcats, Trey Age had a 58-yard touchdown run. Garrett Walston, who took over the play calling duties in that second half, had a 34-yard touchdown pass to Lamont Howard in the season-ending setback. The Wildcats finished the year 12-3 overall, saw their 10-game winning streak come to an end this past Friday at the hands of J.H. Rose. We'll take a quick break here on Sports Roundtable. We'll catch up with the head football coach of the New Hanover Wildcats, Earl Smith, right after this.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all. We approach this problem of re-employment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. Let's catch them before it's too late. To start helping students in your community, visit boostup.org.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Roundtable as we continue our conversation tonight with the head football coach of the New Hanover Wildcats, Earl Smith. Of course, New Hanover fell 28-14 to J.H. Rose this past week in the 4A East Regional with a chance to clinch a spot in the state championship game. It'll be J.H. Rose versus Charlotte Catholic in the 4A title ball game out in Winston-Salem on the campus of Wake Forest later on this week. We'll also catch up with Hoggard basketball coach Brett Queen following this segment to touch on the 22nd annual Leon Brogdon Holiday Basketball Tournament. That'll be coming up right after we get to our game highlights and our conversation this evening with Coach Earl Smith. And Coach, heck of a run this year, 12-3 overall. You had a 10-game winning streak in the mix leading up to that game against J.H. Rose. I remember talking with you after those two kind of blowout games that you lost to against Havelock and Scotland County. You know, you were tested, your backs were against the wall, and your guys kind of answered that test in a big way, obviously advancing all the way to the 4A regionals.
Absolutely, Joe. You know, I'm very proud of our program, doing what we did, you know, getting a conference championship first time in 21 years and getting to the Eastern Finals first time in more than almost 30 years. And, you know, the effort Friday night was unbelievable. You know, we had the bad luck with losing Burke, and you know, they were such a good football team that we had to have all cylinders cranking, and it just didn't work out our way.
Of course, always tough when you have a senior quarterback back there, and you know he really came into his own this season, his only year that he was able to be a starter on the team, and he threw over for 3,000 yards this year, had 28 touchdown passes, just 6 interceptions, connecting with all his receivers. And then, of course, in that first quarter, really I think it was the first series of the game where he hit his throwing hand on a helmet, and he played through the half, but you could tell he just didn't have that mustard on the ball when he was letting it go. So you had to make that change at halftime.
Absolutely, and you know we've had to package in all year with Garrett, that package with him at quarterback, and we just felt like putting him in would give us an opportunity to win the game. And you know we came close, had the ball down in the red zone twice, just didn't convert, had a couple penalties. So, you know, we were right there, and I felt like if we just maybe get in overtime with them, we'd have a shot.
Yeah, Garrett Walston, the University of North Carolina commit, of course, takes over the play-calling duties in the huddle for New Hanover in that second half, scores a touchdown with a 34-yard pass to Lamont Howard in that that first possession of the second half. So then all of a sudden, it's a one-score game, and you're still moving the ball. You stop them on defense, and for the most part, I thought the defense held strong. J.H. Rose got a ton of talent on the field for them. The offensive numbers were eerily similar to what you guys have put up this season. And, for the most part, you held them in check. Of course, Cornell Powell, Clemson University commit, got a couple of big plays on you, and that was pretty much the difference in the game.
Absolutely. Our game plan was to keep the ball away from him, and we pretty much did that, like you said. I think our kicking game was excellent. Harrison Hardy had to punt the ball, I think it was 3 or 4 times, kept it away from him. Josiah Easton, our kicker, kept it away from him with kicks in the end zone. And defense, we had the 2-0 ratio of turnovers and almost got a third one on that fumble. So, we felt like if we could hold them to 21, 28 points, we have a shot to win the game.
Well, let's take a look at some of the game highlights. Our final game footage for this year for the Wildcats. Of course, a great run to finish 12-3 overall this season.
Yeah, here's one of Josiah's many kicks to the end zone, start the game out. And what a great weapon this year. We're going to miss him. Again, defensively, we made a couple adjustments. We were double covering Powell, big stop here on a jet sweep. Really good pursuit by the defense.
That's something I think you've done great this year with stretch out those types of runs that opposing teams have tried to go up against you with those linebackers.
Absolutely. Here's Burke with a few of his passes. This was a short route. Great catch there by Lamont.
It'll be good to have Lamont Howard back next year for you.
Here, Harrison Hardy did an excellent punt. Again, punting away from Powell. Backs him up to the 20-28. I can't say enough about our defensive ends, K'Twan Hill and Isaiah Crawford, 2 seniors. We're going to miss those 2 guys. And here's a great run by Trey Age. He just played his heart out. He didn't want to. He wanted to be playing next week. And what a great effort this year by the young man.
He's one of those guys, small in stature, but he is a tough cookie to bring down.
You'll see him later on here in some runs where he just gives it that second effort. Another kick here, getting it away from the return man out of bounds. Like I said, our kicking game was excellent all night. Again, good pass rush there by Isaiah and K'Twan.
Could have been an easy holding penalty there on the near side of the field too, I saw.
Yep. Nice tip here by Nas Brown, picked off by senior Josh Blackman. Again, gets a good return, gives us a good field position near the 50 in the first half. Burke's still in. We were talking to him each play, each series, just to see how he felt. It was just a tough go throwing the football. Trey with a good run there. Another great effort here, second effort. Again, his size, it's amazing what he gets done. Good effort by Burke here to get a first down on the run, scrambling. Little swing screen, we call it. Again, great effort by Trey. Nice pick by Carol Brisbane, one of our right corner. And this is when we had Garrett at quarterback. This package gives us the option for him to run pass read. We'll screen out to Wisdom. Really excited about getting Wisdom back 2 more years. Another great run by Trey.
Once he hits that hole, I mean, he's gone.
And touchdown pass, you can just barely see it there at the end to Lamont. Again, we cut it to 7 points and just didn't finish.
Yeah, I mean, but heck of an effort. I mean, not too many times you could say you're going to lose your starting quarterback, a guy that's thrown over 3,000 yards and still be in a position there to win the game at the end. Obviously, some costly penalties. I'm sure the communication was probably a bit different on how you're calling the snap count and whatnot with a quarterback back there that has taken maybe 2 snaps all year, and Garrett maybe 3 or 4 with that Wildcat package that you put him in. But overall, Coach, I mean, a heck of a season. After those 2 losses earlier in the year, there was a big question mark on how that team would respond, and I think you guys did that in a big way. And obviously, going to the Final Four is something to be proud of.
Absolutely, and I want to do a shout out to our fans. I think pretty much our side was completely full, and great support all year by the band and the parents and our Boosters Club. Just a total package. I'm so glad to be here and be a part of the Wildcat program again.
Yeah, so this is your first season as the head coach, returning back here from retirement, and you were here back in the early 2000s. So now moving forward, of course, losing a couple of big seniors on the offensive end specifically, but on that defensive end, you've got a number of guys coming back. So that defense should be nice and stout heading into the the new year. Absolutely,
defense is coming back. We've got quite a few skilled players coming back on offense. We've got to rebuild our offensive line and find who's going to be the quarterback and to lead us. But JV went 8-2 this year and won all the conference games, so the future looks bright.
All right, and speaking of the future, obviously your first year back, you've relocated down here, so you're here to stay for at least the foreseeable future leading into 2016.
Absolutely. If they'll still have me, I'll be here.
All right, well, it's been a pleasure meeting you and catching up with you throughout the course of this season. And again, it's been a pleasure following the New Hanover football team, just watching how they've progressed all year. And unfortunately, you come up a little short in that final game, and I would have liked to be interviewing you today in Raleigh instead of where we are here and gearing up for the state championship. That's not the case, but I know you guys are going to get back to work real quick, get in the weight room, and things will be rolling along next fall real quick.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and plan for next year from today.
All right, sounds good. That's the New Hanover head football coach, Earl Smith. He just wrapped up his first year back for the Black and Orange. The Wildcats finished the year at 12-3 overall. They had a 10-game winning streak heading into that final game in the East Regionals. Thanks again to Coach for stopping by. The New Hanover Wildcats again finished the season at 12-3 overall. We'll talk with Hoggard head basketball coach Brett Queen right after this. The high school basketball season is underway. The 22nd annual Leon Brogdon Holiday Basketball Tournament returns to UNCW during Christmas week. We'll catch up with Coach Queen right after this quick break.
Who was president? The years 1929 to 1933. He was the first president born west of the Mississippi River. He was blamed for the Great Depression. He began large public works programs and the Reconstruction Finance Corporation. If you guessed Herbert C. Hoover, you're right. He was the 31st President of the United States. This presidential pop quiz has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools on the Learning Network.
$1. Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed.
It's not here.
Check the dining room.
No.
What about your sister's room?
It's not there either.
The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet?
There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Each year, thousands are senselessly killed by people with no criminal record at all. People like you.
Hey, high school sports fans, welcome back to Sports Roundtable as we continue our conversation covering all realms of sporting news this week across New Hanover County. Thanks again to New Hanover head football coach Earl Smith for stopping by to recap the game against Durham Hillside and then obviously preview this 4A East Regional contest going on Friday night at Legion Stadium as New Hanover will take on J.H. Rose with a chance to clinch a spot in the 4A state championship game in Winston-Salem in a couple of weeks. Moving on to high school basketball, season is underway. We're through the Thanksgiving holiday, so now we get into the real thick of the non-conference schedule and looking ahead to Christmas time. The 22nd annual Leon Brogdon Holiday Basketball Tournament will return to UNCW, and Hoggard head basketball coach Brett Queen going to join us now to preview that great event that we host each and every year on the campus of UNCW. And Coach, a little shift in the dates at least. It'll be the 28th through the 30th of December this year as compared to the couple days leading up to after Christmas, which was traditionally held until. So what maybe went into the change of the dates, and how's the tournament been set up so far this year?
Well, it really just depends on when Christmas falls, and since Christmas falls on a Friday this year, we can't play on Sundays. So anytime we can avoid having that day in the middle of the tournament where we don't do anything, it helps. And so it just shifts it to the following Monday, and so it'll be Monday the 28th through Wednesday the 30th. A little bit of change in some times on that first day. UNCW has home basketball games on both the 28th and the 30th. And so on the 28th, we're going to have to start games at 11 o'clock in the morning. We'll play at 11, 12:30, 2 o'clock, and 3:30 on that first day in both Trask Coliseum and Hanover Hall in the back of Trask Coliseum. And then on the second and third days, it'll be 6 games in Trask and then 2 games in Hanover.
So a little bit of a change here, a little wrinkle here, obviously with the UNCW playing those home games at Trask this season. With that said, the teams are all set up. Obviously, the 4 Wilmington schools in it, Ashley, Hoggard, Laney, and New Hanover, both boys and girls will play. Who will be the teams that will be facing this year in the bracket?
On the girls' side, we got 3 teams from South Carolina, Socastee High School, West Florence, and Conway. Okay. And then Andrews High School from High Point is coming. 4 traditionally pretty good programs on the girls' side. On the boys' side, we've got Summerville, South Carolina. One of their assistant coaches used to be the JV coach at Laney, David Long, and so bringing their team back here. We actually played against them one time in a tournament down in North Myrtle Beach, and it's a really good program. And then T.C. Williams High School from Alexandria, Virginia. Remember the Titans fame. People will recognize that name. Roger Bacon High School from Cincinnati, Ohio, not the one in Brunswick County, but from Cincinnati, coming down, and then Cary High School, which was the team we beating the second round of the playoffs in double overtime last year, and they've got their entire team back. They've already beaten Garner and Broughton on back-to-back nights already this year, and they'll be one of the top teams in North Carolina. So we've got a good field coming in from out of town.
You know, there's always good competition that you're able to bring from out of town into this event now in its 22nd year. Coach, how do you go about inviting some of these teams, or is it kind of a, you know, they call you, or how does that contact go?
Well, a lot of it is them reaching out to us. You know, people have enjoyed coming to our tournament, the ones that have been, and so they talk about it, and other people hear about it, and they contact us. And usually we have more people that want to come than we have spots for, and so the coaches just help to select the teams that want to come. Usually the girls' coaches sort of manage the girls' side of that, and then the boys' coaches manage the boys' side. And you know, we've never been in a situation where we were scrambling around trying to find people that wanted to come to the tournament. People like to come.
You're going to have a busy week, because I know right after Christmas, I believe you head down to North Myrtle Beach for the Christmas by the Sea.
We're actually going before Christmas
before
to
Christmas.
that. Yeah, the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of Christmas week we'll be down in North Myrtle Beach, and then come back and play in the Brogdon after the holiday.
The season just getting underway, obviously, but there's always a lot of excitement for this Brogdon holiday tournament. How has it changed maybe since the first time you took part in the event, or 22 years? There's been a lot of shifts and changes throughout the course of that time. What are some of those changes that have occurred?
Yeah, well, when I first started working at Hoggard as an assistant coach back in 1996, the tournament was at UNCW, and it was a big deal. And then shortly thereafter, it was actually the year before I took over as the head coach, we played at Ashley one year, and then we played several years at New Hanover. Right. And then this is I think the 6th year that we've been back at UNCW. And it just, being at UNCW, giving the kids a chance to play on a college court, play on a neutral site, it just adds some excitement to the tournament. Adding the girls in has been a positive thing for the tournament as well. And this year we've had some people really step up and help us out as far as sponsorships, and people just helping us out with the fundraising. And Stevenson Automotive is going to be the title sponsor for the tournament this year. And it was just been good to see some people from the community step up to help us out, and so that we can continue to have this event year after year.
Like you said, a lot of out-of-town teams coming here and getting a great experience, being able to play at UNCW, and then get to enjoy what should be decent weather here, coming from places like Ohio, getting a good break. How do fans and supporters get more information about the Brogdon tournament, possibly about tickets and whatnot?
Well, we're going to actually be able to sell some tickets online this year on the website, and we're working on getting all of that set up. And so once we do that, we will get the information to the schools and have the schools sort of advertise, and get the media outlets and everything to advertise where they can go to buy the tickets for the tournament. And then obviously we'll sell them on the day of the tournament as well. You'll be able to buy a tournament pass for all 3 days, or you can buy daily passes as well.
It's always a great 3-day holiday basketball tournament that the New Hanover County schools kind of put on, the 4 Wilmington schools. And as you get excited for that event, there's obviously a lot of basketball to be played before the end of December. You're just starting the year off. You get through Thanksgiving now. You can really focus in on the next couple of weeks of basketball for your team. The Hoggard Vikings coming off a good run to the Mid-Eastern Conference Tournament Championship last year, missing a couple of scoring pieces this season, but quickly just running it down. What your Vikings team looks like, who we got this year?
Well, we've got 9 guys back from last year's team and 4 starters, but the one starter that we're missing did a whole lot for us last year, and so we're still trying to figure all that out. And our football guys played into the second round of the playoffs, and so those guys missed 3 weeks of practice, and it's just trying to get them up to speed, and that takes some time. And we've got a tough schedule, so there's not any easy nights, and it's actually how we do here is going to affect the Brogdon tournament as well. We decided this year to wait until after some teams had played games, and we're going to use the Max Preps rankings to try to seed the tournament a little bit better on the first day, so that we're not just drawing names out of a hat. And we've had some situations in the last few years where the best teams in the tournament were playing each other on the first day, and we just want to try to make sure that doesn't happen. So I think all the schools in the county are playing some challenging non-conference schedules, and but this is the time of the year where you try to figure out who you are, and each team is different from year to year. So even though we've got a lot of pieces back, it's still different because of the one piece that we are trying to replace. So.
He's the Hoggard basketball coach, Brett Queen, previewing the 22nd annual Leon Brogdon Holiday Basketball Tournament. Coach, thanks for stopping by, and I know I'll be talking with you real soon on Sports Roundtable as we shift gears from football to basketball season here over the next couple of weeks.
Yep, sounds good.
It's Hoggard head coach Brett Queen here on Sports Roundtable. That'll do it for our latest edition of the show. Again, good luck to the New Hanover Wildcats, who will play in the 4A East Regional Football Contest coming up on Friday night, and then looking forward to high school basketball season, which is already underway across the state. Until next time, we'll send it out here. I'm Joe Katz from PortCityDaily.com, and thanks for joining the show.